Hello everyone. Today we are doing another class of steam locomotive that was on the Great Northern Railway. This class is pretty special because it was the beginning of articulated power on the Great Northern Railway. There were also some of the very early development of articulated power in the US. Anyways, enough goofing off, let's begin. Steam locomotives on the GN episode 5. The L-Class 2662s. In the early days of the GN, when freight trains got longer and heavier, it caused engines like the 280s, the 480s, and the 460s to doublehead their trains. Since it was starting to become expensive to run more than one engine on one train, they started to think of a way to solve the issue. They decided to contact the Burroughs-Williams Company for a new articulated locomotive with a new wheel arrangement. In 1906, the Burroughs-Williams Company delivered 5 new 2662 locomotives. They were numbered 1800 to 1804 and classified as L1s. They would later be renumbered to 1900 to 1904. 2 years later, the GM would buy 17 more engines from the same company, and they would be numbered 1905 to 1921. These 22 new engines would be the first of their type ever built in the world. With a boiler pressure of 200 psi, 55-inch diameter driving wheels, a high-pressure cylinder diameter of 21.5 by 32, and a low-pressure cylinder diameter of 33 by 32. This caused the effect of giving the engines over 64,000 pounds of tractive effort. The first 5 were used as pushers on the Cascade Mountains, while the remaining 17 were used on the main road. Sadly, these engines were not quite powerful enough to handle the freights, so they would buy 40 more engines classified as L2s in 1907, a year before they would buy their second batch of L1s. The L2s had the same diameter of 55 inches in terms of drivers, but they had 210 psi, 20 by 30 inch high pressure cylinders, and 31 by 30 low pressure cylinders. Because of the decreased cylinder cavities, they can only produce 54,999 pounds of tractive effort. Their numbering system would be from 1805 to 1844. The reason why these engines had 2 different sizes of cylinders is because they were compound locomotives. A compound locomotive is when an engine recycles the steam from the rear set of cylinders and the exhaust from the rear set goes into the front set of cylinders. This makes the engine more efficient. In 1915, the GN would do some upgrades of 8 of their L2s and 2 of their L1s. The updated L1s could produce 74,525 pounds of tractive effort, while the updated L2s produced 52,380 pounds. The 2 L1s would receive superheaters, while the 8 L2s would get different tenders and Franklin grate shakers. These locomotives were seen pulling heavy freight trains and pusher duties on the Cascade division of the GN. They would run until being retired in the mid-1920s, but they would not be the 2662s as they were. Between 1922 and 1925, all of their engines would be rebuilt into 05 and 06 Mikados. These Mikados would last until the early 1950s when they are retired and scrapped. Today, none of the 05s, 06s, L1s, or L2s survived the torch.